Hello and welcome to the News Made Simple podcast with me, Mkhwanazi. Lovely to be in your company today. Thank you so much for choosing us. Thank you for tuning in. This is the platform where we make news simple. I'm here to help you make sense of it all. And I know you need that in this busy news world that we're living in. So thank you so much for coming onto this platform. All right. This particular episode is going to be centered around the developments in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, particularly the decision to halt or take a bit of a break in proceedings. It's the why. And I'm here to tell you why this break had to happen. But before we get into it, I want to encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as share with all the people around you. I have been receiving so much love from you, and I just want to thank you so much. All your comments do not go unnoticed. All your likes, people coming from Instagram, from TikTok, and other platforms. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's continue growing. Let's continue engaging, and let me know what we can do to make this platform better, because this is about your experience. But more than anything, this is the platform where I believe you can be better equipped when it comes to news affairs. All right. So it is liking, commenting, subscribing. Am I forgetting something? The notification bell. Yes. Click the notification bell so that you can be informed or alerted every time a new video comes up. All right, let's get into the crux of the matter. The Madlanga Commission of Inquiry is officially on a bit of a break. It is about a week-long break, if I'm counting correctly, from the 6th to the 10th of October. And that is for a number of reasons. But I want to take you a step back. We have seen 5 witnesses at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry since it started. We've seen 9 days of testimony. And all of that testimony has really been, there's been a thread in the testimony that we've seen, as we expected. When the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry began, we heard the evidence leader, the chief evidence leader then, Advocate Terry Modau, senior counsel, telling the commission and the nation how the commission was going to work. And it was established that it would be in 3 parts. The first part would be the testimony of General Mkhwanazi, as well as all the people that agree with him, so all his co-witnesses, so to speak, who would come and corroborate his evidence. The second part would be all the people that are implicated. They would be granted an opportunity to come before the Commission of Inquiry and to testify. And then the third part would be Mkhwanazi coming back to address those testimonies. And you'll remember I said very similar to a trial, a criminal trial, where there would be, examination, or there would be the initial testimony. The word is evading me, but there would be the examination in chief. Yes, examination in chief. And then there would be the cross-examination, and then there would be the re-examination. Very similar to that. So what we're seeing now is that we're still in the first part of this Commission of Inquiry, where Mkhwanazi has completed his testimony and all the people that are corroborating his evidence are still testifying. And yesterday we saw Dumisani Khumalo, who is the crime intelligence boss, but also he's the man at the center of this, because he almost has all the facts about this alleged crime syndicate. And I say alleged because it hasn't been proven in court, but he's got all the information on the syndicates and the cartels, and he breaks it down very well. For my summary of that, look at the video before this one. He has fallen ill. Yesterday, we heard that he was at the Bridget Mabandla Center or Justice School, and then he fell ill while he was there, and proceedings had to be halted. Now, the commission is giving him some time to recover. So over the next 2 days or so, he will be granted the opportunity to recover. But then you may ask, why is the commission not resuming now after that? Why aren't we back on Monday? Well, we've received communication from the commission that the commission or proceedings will have to pause for a bit in order to allow Advocate Sesi Baloyi the opportunity to go and take care of her other duties, particularly the Judicial Service Commission interviews. So what we are going to be seeing next week is that the Judicial Service Commission is going to be interviewing candidates for positions in the courts, particularly the Supreme Court, I believe, is one of those. And Advocate Sesi Baloyi is a member of the JSC. She is a member that is one of those that are appointed by the president. And she is there in the JSC and so she has to carry out her duty. So the commission was going to pause anyway in order to allow for Advocate Sesi Baloyi. So you may be wondering, or you may have been wondering, why? Why are we not continuing? That's really the issue around it. It's the fact that the advocate, who is one of the commissioners in the Madlanga Commission, has her duties to carry out at the JSE. And after the JSE completes its interviews, then we will resume with the Madlanga Commission. Hopefully, Dumisani Khumalo will be well and ready to continue with his testimony. You'll remember that in terms of his testimony, we were with the WhatsApp messages or the text messages between the man Brown Mkhwanazi as well as Vusmuzi Cat Matala, and we were almost going to be seeing more of those text messages between Vusmuzi Cat Matala, I believe, and other people. So what we do now is we wait. And I do think that there should be a separate video that I should make summarizing what we've heard so far from the Commission of Inquiry holistically, so that we can almost process it and take the time to almost, remind ourselves what we know from this Commission of Inquiry. I think we're at the point now where there's a lot of moving parts. Number one, we have seen the chief evidence leader, Advocate Terry Modau, exiting the commission. And he's done an interview with 702 this morning, being interviewed by Bongani Bingwa, where he clarifies why. And from what I heard him say, it sounds like a budget issue, budget constraints, as well as him feeling like the work of the commission is going to be a lot more than what was allocated in terms of budget. And maybe I get the sense that he feels the way that they were going about it and spending this budget is not sustainable, and I stand to be corrected. But he does give me the sense that he feels that the commission cannot carry out its work in the best way possible in the way that it was being run. And again, I'm reading between the lines. It was very subliminal. But Advocate Terry Modau has left the Commission of Inquiry. Advocate Matthew Chaskelson is now the new chief evidence leader. He stepped up to be chief evidence leader. And while he has been part of the commission, so he's not going to be doing a lot of work in reminding himself much, there is a need for him, of course, to get into that role. And I think that he was ready, and he was already seamlessly moving into that role. What's going to be happening now, though, is that the commission must continue, and I wonder if there will be an appointment of another deputy, because we know that Modau had two deputies. So, will there be someone to take over the role of Charles Ginson? And these staffing issues in commissions are really important because they do affect the work of the commission somehow. You'll remember that the City Press was reporting that Madlanga, the Justice Madlanga, who's the chair of the commission, was trying to convince Modau to stay, saying his exit will affect the work of the commission. And I really want to know now, I'm interested in how it will affect it. I mean, the transition does seem to be seamless now with Matthew Toskinson, but I wonder how things will look now, now that there's been a bit of that shift. So that's one of the parts that have happened so far. Another part that has happened is we've seen the passing of Nathi Mthethwa, who was South Africa's ambassador to France, but also a former police minister. The commission has refused to be drawn into giving commentary or clarifying or giving an indication whether they'd invited Mthethwa to testify. Of course, Nathi Mthethwa died in Paris, in France. The report was that he had fell from the 22nd floor of the Hyatt Hotel, and it's unclear what the cause was. Investigations are underway. It does look like it was a suicide, but the investigations are currently underway. Now, Jen has been asking the question to the commission, had you invited him? Was he scheduled to come testify? You'll remember that Nathi Mthethwa had been implicated by General Mkhwanazi in his testimony, who accused Mthethwa of interfering in the work of police when he was the police minister, particularly around the prosecution of former crime intelligence boss Richard Mhluli. And we heard Mkhwanazi basically painting that picture. It wasn't a lot that he said, but just saying that it seems Nathi Mthethwa had interfered there, trying to stall the prosecution of Richard Mhluli, the crime intelligence boss. So the conversation now really is, I think that we are at the point where the commission could do with a bit of a cool-off period and a bit of a regrouping. It was never going to be a never-ending like a period or a never-ending marathon of testimonies. There was always going to be breaks in between. And I do think it's important that we don't think that the breaks are anything sinister, but we are informed of those breaks and why we are on these breaks so that the work of the commission can continue. So, on the 13th of October, the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry resumes, and crime intelligence boss Dumsani Khumalo, General Dumsani Khumalo, will take the witness stand once again and continue to give his testimony. What we should be doing now with the Madlanga Commission, I think that's what they will be doing too, is recounting the steps, looking back at where we've come from, where we are, and making sense of the testimonies that are going to come. There is still a long way ahead of us. As I explained at the beginning of the video, there are 3 parts. We are still in part 1, so it's going to be a lengthy period, really, of in terms of the commission. And I do think that we could appreciate a bit of a cool off. We've seen explosive testimony coming, and yeah, in a week from now, or a week or so from now, we will be back on it in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. I'll be here to help you make sense of it all. I appreciate you coming onto this platform, and let us know if there's more that we can talk about on the news cycle. For now, however, thank you so much for tuning in. This is News Made Simple with me, Mkhwanazi, and let's do it again soon. For now, it's goodbye.